on the P&L.
The plague-changed
What are
creatures
your
we
priorities?
face are formidable.
I have found
but
that a lot of people
they're
haven't
lack-
defined those. They probably are trying to do too many things in too many seasons. And if you would say that, okay, you know, maybe family, or maybe it's no kids. And if it's no kids, no spouse, and you're not dating, you got a whole nother level of availability on your schedule or whatever. So you might say, my work, stay healthy, and build my YouTube side hustle, build my online business. And then you also go, but it's also like, get amazing at motocross. And that has nothing to do with your YouTube channel. It might be the season you can't do that. Like, learn 14 new instruments. You know, like, you just can't say that everything's a priority. Number one, define your priorities. Number two, do a time audit and review of your calendar. I'm about to step into your business, if you don't mind. So your calendar is the ultimate scorecard of your priorities. And if I was to look back over your calendar last week, the week before, over the last month, your calendar would reveal your priorities to me. Here's the problem. If you've defined your priorities at number one, and now we look at your calendar, is your calendar really lined up with your priorities? If you've got more Netflix on your calendar than you do working on your YouTube channel, then maybe your kids and your goals and your YouTube channel are not fully being aligned with your priorities. And this is the insidious one. If you're just scrolling and online shopping for 45 minutes here for stuff you don't need, and if you're just scrolling randomly on your phone over here, what's actually happening in your time during the day is chipping away at your priorities and really the possibilities that exist inside of your world right now, your calendar right now, your time right now. Your calendar is the scorecard of your priorities. And this one hurts. This hurts for everybody. So if you're like, bro, relax. Even when I look at mine, like, this is a tough one. But it's where we start to understand that this is possible. Almost in any season, you can also stay consistent on YouTube, but it just takes discipline, it takes focus. And let's just consider what's possible in a week. Okay, we all have 24 hours a day and 168 hours a week. If you spend 40 hours a week at work, that's 8 hours per day. If you spend 56 hours sleeping, that's 8 hours per night. Now, probably, you might go, I don't even sleep that much, I have extra time. You might, or it's actually negative because your energy isn't quite right. I actually thinking whatever your body needs, 7 to 8. New research says like the majority of people, there's like less than 1% have like this genetic thing where you can really do well on like 3 or 4. But like chances are to be at your best and create your best content and all of that, like you really want to be at 8 hours per night or 7 or 8 a night. So let's just say 40 hours at work, 56 hours sleeping. Do you have a commute? 1.5 hours a day total. That would be 7.5 hours a week. Or do you work remote? Do you work from home? Do you not have a commute? We either just regained almost 8 hours because you don't commute, or if you do, could you turn your commute into when you learn? One of our Video Ranking Academy students, Jacqueline from the Wild Floridian, has a commute, and she has crushed all of her learning modules inside of our online course because she does it while she's commuting. So she's actually redeemed that time as it relates to being consistent on YouTube and learning. Okay, if we add on eating for 21 hours, that'd be 1.5 hours a day of eating. Maybe you eat longer than that, but it's just a quick breakfast, a quick lunch, sit down for dinner. 5 hours a week on chores, that's an hour a day. Cleaning, 5 hours a week on working out and exercise. That is only 134.5 hours. So that leaves everything we just described, 33.5 hours left for whatever you want to fill it with. Well, Sean, I got kids. Okay, family. Well, Sean, I want to do YouTube. We could put YouTube in there. I do want some sports or entertainment or gaming. Like, there's a lot of other things you could fill in there. But here's the real numbers. Did you know that the average person spends 2 hours and 27 minutes on social media every day? That's almost 16 hours per week. So inside of our program, we teach what's called the 5-hour YouTube work week. But ultimately, like, if you had 16 extra hours that we could find, you could be consistent on YouTube. And that's just from not scrolling on social media. Now, here's what Forbes discovered. Americans spent on average more than 1,300 hours on social media last year. So what could you do with 1,300 hours in your year towards building your side projects, building your side hustle, building your online business? Gen Z spends 9 hours a day on social media and on their phones. While all of this could be shocking and scary, almost 16 hours per week. So inside of our program, we teach what's called the 5-hour YouTube work week. But ultimately, like, if you had 16 extra hours that we could find, you could be consistent on YouTube. And that's just from not scrolling on social media. Now, here's what Forbes discovered. Americans spent on average more than 1,300 hours on social media last year. So what could you do with 1,300 hours in your year towards building your side projects, building your side hustle, building your online business? Gen Z spends 9 hours a day on social media and on their phones. While all of this could be shocking and scary, this is me challenging you to say like, oh, Sean, full-time job, how do I stay consistent on YouTube? The time is probably there. It's just how disciplined are we? And I get it. Even if we refine it all the way down, I pretty much promise you that almost anybody listening to this, whether on the YouTube channel or on one of the audio platforms, friend, we could find 5, 6, 7, 8 hours in your week at least. And chances are we could probably find closer to 16. But Sean, I've got to play the new Harry Potter game at least a few hours a day. But Sean, I've got to watch my shows as a way of unwinding. Well, that's fine. You got to do whatever you want. And I'm not trying to talk you out of any of that stuff. I'm just saying, what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? What's on your priority list for this season? What are you willing to sacrifice? The time is there, so doing a time audit. So number 1, what are your actual priorities? Number 2, time audit and review your calendar. Number 3, and here we go. These are the 3 lists we all need. So I want you to make 3 lists. Number 1, what are your mission critical tasks? Number 2, what are your important but not critical tasks? And number 3, what are your not important tasks or activities that you've been doing? I define my priorities back to my story. I had to honor my job at the church LP. So it's like, I have to do that, right? And I also have to honor my wife, stay married. Like that's a priority for me. Take care of that responsibility. Build my business. Like these days, or, build my businesses on there. So in the early days of Think Media, when I would put on the mission critical tasks though, because you could go, what are your priorities, but then also, what are the mission critical tasks for your YouTube channel versus what are the mission critical tasks that are less important when it comes to your online business or your YouTube channel?
Who is
So for example,
studying
I would say, well, mission critical would be
he sends word he has
quality
gained
content.
insight into the
Like, I need to
true
put out at
nature
least
of
one
the
piece
chasm
of content a
and
week, or not even,
requires
but I
further
need to put out
assistance.
quality content.
Cawthon
Over a
created
year's
and
time,
maintains the magic
when people
portals
come to the channel,
that
they need
allow
to see
us to
something
move
good. That means
around
it's not
the
even
chasm.
rushed, too.
His
And I need
research is
enough
vital
space
to our
or
mission.
margin or time to make
Follow
something
the road
worthwhile.
down
If I can
slope
find
from
16
Fort
hours by just
Precipice.
cutting down social
You'll
media
come
usage,
to the first
then
portal,
I'm
activate
investing
it,
some
and
of
you'll
that
travel to
16
an
hours
Earth mode where you can find Quorthon